opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guest and are not necessarily those of WPSL or WSTU. This station does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without the express permission and written consent of this station. Phone lines are open for your questions and comments. Call 220-9788 or 340-1590. And now, here's your host.
And you're in the studios with the Treasure Coast Car Guys from Treasure Coast Lexus and Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. Phone lines are open, 340-1590, 220-9788. And welcome our guest, Gary Mariarossi.
Hi, Veronica.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good to see you.
Great. And we've got a guest?
We do. So we're not the car guys today.
Well, we are kind of car guys.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, definitely car guys. You know, I'm from New York. Everybody's guys.
I consider myself a car guy.
Excellent. All
but
right.
I am a girl. So,
I was trying to be politically correct.
Nah.
All right.
We're good.
We have Tina Klein with us today.
Welcome.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Tina runs the pre-owned department for Treasure Coast Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
That's her title anyway. She does a lot more than that. So she does anything that really needs to be done.
Okay.
So she handles a lot.
Lots of hats in your office?
Yes.
Lots of hats.
So pre-owned right now is going to be really big at Treasure Coast Lexus because you had a really big December to remember, moving out new cars, taking in all those great L-certified vehicles.
We certainly did.
Tell us more.
Well, I'll let Tina tell you about that. We have...
Well, December to remember was fantastic. We broke records last month selling pre-owned cars because they sold so many new cars.
Mm-hmm.
We took in so many trades, and they're such nice trades, quality trades that come in on the Treasure Coast. They're low mileage. They're generally purchased at our dealership, traded in at our dealership, and then sold again. So,
how important is that to know the history of those vehicles? How does that make your job a little easier?
Oh my gosh, it's great to do that, and it's so comforting to a guest when they come into the dealership, and I'm able to share with them, you know, it was purchased here. Here's the date. Here's all the services. It was here for the $5,000 or the $10,000 or the $15,000, and they can see everything that's done. It makes them feel so much better. A lot of these cars, you know, they go to Independence and they get their car serviced, but I would say 95% of the cars that I get on trade are serviced at the Lexus dealership, which is why we sell so many L-certified cars.
Right. So these are cars where you look at the back seat and you go, nobody ever sat back there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very, very gently used.
They are very gently used. And I think a lot of the cars that we get on trade, they're local cars right on the Treasure Coast here. And, you know, they work and live here, which is fantastic. So I think that's why the miles stays low. They're not commuting, you know, thousands of miles weekly.
Yeah.
So
we still have a huge inventory right now, or are things looking a little lean?
Kind of in the middle.
Okay.
You know, we're not, I wouldn't say huge. We've had a great beginning of the month, so we've sold quite a few, but still have quite a few left to find homes for.
Now, we're throwing around the term L-certified. Let's explain to the listeners what that means.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you asked. You know, I actually had an article on L-certified. I was just going to share with the listeners.
Yep.
And I was real excited to read this and know about this. I just got some things highlighted, but it's from USA Today, and it talks about L-certified because you hear certified cars all the time in the market. Everybody's got certified. So U.S. News did the research and found out that Lexus has the best certified warranty in the market. And the reason why we changed it from certified to L-certified is to make it different. So if you get an L-certified car, you're getting the best in the market, which means you get 6 years from the in-service date when it was originally purchased, unlimited miles. So
that's a biggie.
You could do as many miles as you want on the car, which is crazy. It's fantastic.
I think one thing that sometimes people have confusion that I get asked a lot is is that warranty? Oh, so that's the powertrain. That's the engine and the transmission. Oh no, it's the entire car. It's just like a new car warranty.
And this is more too than just whatever's left over from the first guy who bought the car. This is beyond that.
Yes.
Way beyond, because the original warranty is 4 years and 50,000 miles. So we're going 6 years from the original in-service date, 2
And-
years beyond the original factory
Okay.
warranty, and we're going unlimited miles, not 50,000 miles.
And like Gary said, it's comprehensive. It's covering everything. It's like a new car warranty.
So
But-
if a knob, if they're, the previous owner may have been a little heavy-handed with knobs or something, and then I come along and I'm heavy-handed too, and I'm holding that knob in my hand, I'm coming into the dealership.
Coming into the dealership.
Wow,
Yeah.
even the little things.
Even the little things. Now, in addition to that, you have 2 years of service you get with your purchase, or 20,000 miles.
So that would be the regular maintenance that I would have to do on any other pre-owned vehicle, but you guys are covering me.
Correct.
Wow.
So every 5,000 miles, and you come down to Treasure Coast Lexus, and you have loaner cars, and that comes with your L certified car, which is really good for a lot of folks, so they don't have to sit there
Sure.
and wait for the service.
Well, if I don't get the loaner car, you guys are going to come get me anyway, right?
Yes, we will.
Yes. Yes.
And not that hanging around our dealership is a real
No, that's-
real chore for anybody.
Yeah, that's not rough at all, is it?
No, we're not roughing it at all.
No.
But on the maintenance, that is so important on a pre-owned car, because even if you bought a great low mile L certified car, let's say it has 20,000 miles on it, what that means is your next 4 services, which is your 25,000 mile service. The next one is your 30,000 mile service, which is a major service. That's not just an oil change and rotating your
Okay.
tires. So a lot of times I think people, until you explain it to them, oh, yeah, that's nice, 2 years, 20,000 miles maintenance. It's not like it is on a new car where basically that's an oil change or two. These are certified pre-owned cars. So, in many cases that includes a major service. So the savings is significant.
Sure. Yeah, and then the peace of mind too, knowing that your car is going to be that well taken care of that far into the future. Because if you've got a 20,000 mile car and you average 10,000 miles a year, so that's
Roughly.
a year. Now you're a year out from when you bought it.
Right.
And this warranty is taking you beyond that.
Yeah. Now you get roadside assistance too with the whole time you have the L certified warranty as well.
It's a Lexus, though. How often are you going to be left? But I guess you could pick up something in a tire. What happens then? Are we still covered?
Yes, you are.
Wow. Okay.
Roadside assistance covers you for, you ran a nail over and got a flat tire.
Yeah, just one trip on 95, and you can do that.
Yeah.
Easily. We also will, believe it or not, roadside assistance actually covers you if you run out of gas. Human error. It happens sometimes. And, they'll come out with a gas can and get you back on the road and get you to a gas station.
Wow.
And so that's part of roadside. So it's not just, and a lot of people will say that, well, it's a Lexus, it never breaks down, so I don't really need
Well,
that.
I kind of believe that myself, but
Agreed. We love that
Yes.
reputation. But there are things that even a phenomenally built car is
I
not
always
immune
say
to.
because it was built by man. It's a machine. Things can happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, getting a flat tire I don't care how well the car was built, that can happen. That does happen.
Yes, one trip on 95.
We've had people run out of gas, they've got 100
Yeah.
things going on at one
Yeah.
time, and they just,
You get in and
aren't
go,
paying
and then you
attention.
look down, and then you're on 95, and you're nowhere, but you're like between exits where they're really
That's
far
right.
apart. That's happened to me.
Sure. Playing a Russian
And then
roulette.
you get out, you get off the highway, and you're like, okay, now I'm off the highway. Where's the nearest gas station? So
Yes. That wasn't a good move, right?
No,
It's dark.
no.
I don't know where I am.
yeah,
So we come get you. We, gas can, fill you up. Well, we won't fill you up as much as the gas
Sure.
can can hold.
Yeah, it'll
and we'll
get
get you to a
the
gas
gas
station,
station.
though, and save you.
Now these same perks are coming with the L certified vehicle.
They are. Plus, you have a trip interruption too with it. So if you're traveling with your family or you're at work and something happens to the car and it's got to go into the shop, and a hotel's got to be paid for and food, they give you an allowance for that as well. So Lexus really thought of everything when they put this L certified program together. And at Treasure Coast Lexus, we really enforce everything and then take it an extra step further, especially with Gary coming here to Treasure Coast Lexus. I mean, everything that can be done to that L certified car in our service department to make it as close to brand new for our next guest who's looking at that possible, purchase, and it's a big purchase. We try to take all the concerns off the table, at the dealership. So,
I mean, with that mileage warranty, though, that's amazing because this could be your second car. This could be the car that you drive everywhere, and because it's not your brand, it's a like new vehicle, but you might not feel as you might not be as apprehensive to put those miles on a brand new car that you would a second car. But here you have all the perks of having that beautiful brand new Lexus, and you could drive it too.
You drive the wheels off of it.
That's true.
Well, and, we have, many guests who are, in sales. They're on the road a lot, realtors, and so we've got another group of guests, that are putting a lot of miles on cars. And while the L certified program is it was tailor-made for them, because we have guests that put 40, 50,000 miles a year on a vehicle.
True.
Sure.
So when you explain to them that, well, you could get up to 200,000 miles on this car and still be under the factory warranty.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And, Lexus does have a phenomenal reputation, and we make great cars. But the concern we have these days is not so much, the engines are spectacular. We CAT scan our engines when we build cars.
That's amazing.
So the engines are great, the transmission's great, and that's what people think of. But today's cars have so much technology and so many electronics in them, and you can't do any maintenance on that portion of the car. You can't. The engine, change the oil when you're supposed to, right? Do the transmission flush when you're supposed to.
Those are all mechanical.
And your car will be good to you. But what maintenance can you do on a navigation system, on backup cameras, on lane keep assist, on blind spot monitors? And unfortunately, those electronics will sometimes fail, give out. And none of them are inexpensive. So to cover that portion of the vehicle as well for those types of miles is absolutely incredible and gives us such peace of mind and great pride in selling L-certified vehicles. Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
Well, the peace of mind comes where you realize that the company is standing behind their product to that extent. And you've got to feel good about that.
The best. And Tina, when a guest comes in, and the rare occasion they have an issue with an L-certified car, how's that experience? What's that like?
Oh, it's great. They come on in. Whatever their concern is, we take care of it, bring them to service. The answer is pretty much yes. How can I help you? Which is nice to have a company and a manufacturer that stands behind you and helps you take care of the customer. So
I think it's pretty amusing because a lot of times when a guest comes in, and they do have an issue, what's their expectation? Like they come in, what's their demeanor when they come in?
Oh, they got their arms crossed and they got the stern face on and they can't believe that this happened.
They're ready to fight.
They're ready to fight, and either Gary or myself will tell them, no problem. I'm glad you came in.
Let's get you a loaner car. Let's get your car fixed.
Sure.
There's no dedeductible.
Go home and argue with your wife or your husband, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no arguing here.
Yeah.
That's great.
What do you mean you're going to fix my car?
So
yes, we're going to fix it. No problem. You're not going to argue with me a little bit? You're not going to make me work for it?
What is it going to cost me? Is that...
It is zero deductible.
Wow.
Zero deductible. No, we don't have to sit around and wait, for somebody to okay it. We already know it's covered. Let's get you a loaner car, get you on your way, and we'll take care of this. When it's done, we'll bring it to you, and we'll pick up our loaner car and bring it back.
Wow.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, and Gary, where it's amazing to me. I don't know if I've ever worked at a dealership that has so many dealer raters that just love their L-certified experience at the dealership. They can't say enough.
The online reviews, the dealer rater reviews are they speak volumes. Those are our guests. They're telling you.
Is that something again that Lexus is going above and beyond to know what their customers are thinking? Or do your competition, do they do the same thing? Do they have the same rating type systems that you have?
Well, those like Dealer Rater,
or they don't look at them.
They might not want to, but the Dealer Rater review, that's a voluntary thing that a guest can go on and write a review. But Lexus, which not all manufacturers do, Lexus sends a survey from Lexus to everybody who purchases an L certified car.
Okay.
Just like they do on new cars. So no, not every manufacturer does that. So yes, Lexus does monitor that and wants to know, and it's very the dealership is graded on that. So it's not, well, it's just an L certified car, we're not going to worry too much about that. And that's certainly not Lexus's approach to it.
So you're getting surveys on brand new cars and your L certified vehicles?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
They actually even send an inspector out that comes in, and because we're tasked to make sure that we do a 161-point check and we do all the services required. They have a big manual that we have to adhere to. And then they send an inspector out to make sure that the cars meet Lexus standards for L certified. So when that guest comes in, we really do go through a lot of hoops and to make sure that it's right, not only for our own, checklist, but for Lexus. So if it's not right, they kind of write us up and give us a bad report, and you'd never want that.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you don't, when you pass that car on to the guest, if it's not, there's that what if, what if something goes wrong? And that the cars that the company is standing behind are the ones that pass those, 161? So
it goes through
I'm sure you get cars that don't pass.
And we don't, and we won't keep them to do that.
And we certainly can't certify them.
Right. Yeah. So we can't certify them. And, we talk about this unlimited mile warranty that's on the car. What Lexus has done that's even more fantastic is they let you take that warranty and extend it another 2 or 3 years of unlimited mile warranty. So you can buy a car and have, 3, 4.
Well, really, you're going to wear it out before the warranty ends.
Well, it is a Lexus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you bought a car with 50,000 miles and you do 40,000 miles a year and you bought it and you have 5 years of unlimited mile warranty, you're covered for that whole time.
When you get it up to like 300, though, the seat looks a little worn and things are looking. I know. I had a Toyota with 300,000 miles on it.
If I'm driving it certainly does. On the unlimited mileage warranty, because you can extend it, on the newer models. Like, for example, let's say you bought a 2016 L certified. That vehicle will have normally 5 years or 5.5 years of warranty left because
And
it's
unlimited.
6 years from the in-service date. On the newer models too, Lexus actually will allow you to extend that another 5 years. It can go as long as 5 years. So you can literally walk out of the dealership with a 10-year unlimited mileage factory warranty, comprehensive warranty, which, again, if you're a person that drives significant miles.
I mean, if it's just 10, you're up there 100,000 miles.
Even if it's 10,000 miles.
Way back when
sure.
your car was done at 90. I mean, in the 70s, if you had a car with 90,000 miles, it was in the driveway dead.
But we have people that buy our cars, that we, fortunately for us, we have, many of our guests like to get a new vehicle every couple of years, and we thank
they're
them.
keeping up with style and they're keeping up with technology and they're giving the rest of us an opportunity to buy their great car used.
But that's very true.
Yeah.
But we also have a group of people that buy a Lexus because they say, I'm going to keep it for 10 years.
Okay.
Because I know it's a great car and I know it will last that long. And, it's an investment, and I feel like, that's how long I need to keep it to justify my investment.
Sure.
So we have guests that look at it that way, too. And if you can keep the car for 10 years and have it still under factory warranty that entire time, they can't believe it.
It just tells me they know they have a product that's going to last that long.
They love it and have no problem standing behind it.
Right.
So, but guests, the question we get more than anything is, is that true?
Yeah.
Is that really true? That's the question we get 90% of the time.
Right. Well, people aren't used to that. They're just
No.
not used to it. I want to remind the listeners to give us a call if they have any questions, 340-1590 or 220-9788 if you're listening on WSTU. In the market for a car, even if you're in the market to just upgrade the current car you're driving to a L-certified Lexus, give us a call. We'll. What do you got on the lot? Anything good?
Oh my gosh.
They're all good.
Yes,
They're all our foster kids.
Yeah.
We just have them for a little while. We
Right.
keep them healthy and get them taken care of, and we're looking for homes for all these cars.
Okay.
And I'm glad you asked. We're having our winter sales event, and
Okay.
it's all about the L certified at the dealership. So they're going actually pretty quick. It's amazing how many we have sold month to date. I think the sales associates are really excited about it too. They're offering 0.9% financing on for 72 months on ESs, ES350s, ES hybrids, and GS350s, which is pretty good. Plus all the other stuff we were telling you about, the unlimited mile warranty and the 2 years of service, roadside assistance. They also have a 1.9% financing on RX 350s and RX hybrids for up to 48 months, which is
Now,
nice.
just a few months back, the RX was like the safest vehicle on the road
Yes.
It was named the safest vehicle
out of all of them.
out of every make and model.
Yeah,
Very proud of that.
great.
Yeah, and I have on the lot we have cars from 5,000 miles to 100,000 miles that are there. So I have cars that really for everybody. So no matter what your budget is, what you're looking to spend, Treasure Coast Lexus.
So in other words, if you didn't think you could drive a Lexus, you'd be surprised.
Right. And I do keep all makes and models on the lot as well. So we try to satisfy everybody.
Now, again, if it's a non-Lexus product, is it like the best of the best again? You're not going to have... do you have any of those back-of-the-lot kind of cars? You know what I mean.
The
Not
quality
really.
the quality standards are still
Very
maintained
high.
at the highest
Okay.
level. So
yes.
Yeah.
So rest assured, they're great cars.
Yeah. They all go through the shop, and we make sure that everything's safe and good for our consumers.
it still has our name on it. So the standards, that and the expectations that we have as a Lexus dealer, as Treasure Coast Lexus in particular, is something that is prevalent throughout the dealership. It's not just for L-certified cars. So we do the same type of inspection. We do the same work to the car that if it needs to be done. And if the car is just, too far gone, so to speak, then
It goes someplace else.
we send it to
Yeah.
an auction and wholesale it. And, that's not a car that we want our name on,
True.
that we'd be proud to
and the
represent.
buying experience is going to be completely different as well.
No.
No.
No, I mean from the other guys.
Oh, from the other guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
No matter what you come in to buy, that buying experience is going to be second to none.
Well, we take a lot of pride in our careers and our customers, and Lexus does too. They actually even have us having to know and wanting to carry around this card. It's called our Lexus Covenant. Gary probably has it in his pocket right now. Do you, Gary?
I do.
See, I knew he would. And we live and die by this, so when a guest comes in, and we chose to work at Lexus because we think it's the best, and they care about the customers, and we're able to deliver the service that people like. And it's great to get that feedback from the guests to say, I really had a good time, or I really enjoyed it. This is the best car buying experience. Being in retail is a lot of fun. It really is. There's a lot of rewards to it. So, but yeah, we have the Covenant car if you want to.
Well, just a piece from the Covenant. It talks about we're in the most competitive industry and the most competitive segment of this industry, and we're in a race. Thank you.
I had
I can read it.
the big print.
Oh, wow. And Lexus will win the race because Lexus will do it right from the start. Lexus will have the finest dealer network in the industry, which we do. There are only just over 240 Lexus dealers in the country.
Okay.
And, when you compare that to other manufacturers, other luxury manufacturers, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they're close to 2,000. And, we have 240. It's a very exclusive club, so to speak. And that's intentional. It's the best. Lexus, and this is the most important part, Lexus will treat each customer as we would a guest in our own home. And that is really the backbone of what we do. And when you talk about experience, what kind of experience will the guest, get at our store? That is something we talk about every single day, 10 times a day. And we treat every single customer as we would a guest in our own home. And we don't call them customers.
Right.
They're guests. And that's just something that whether they buy a car, whether they don't buy a car, whether they're stopping in asking for directions, whether for whoever steps foot in our door gets that experience and gets treated that way. And that's the key to what we do. Because in the luxury segment, let's face it, most of our guests can buy anything they want and can shop anywhere they want. And there's no shortage of dealers. Just within a mile in each direction of our store.
That's where they all are.
Count them. I mean, yeah, you could walk to half of them. So if we don't have that type of approach and if we don't treat our guests that way, they certainly can pick their bags up and go. But they don't. And when we know and our mission with each guest really is, I want every guest to tell me that this is the absolute best car buying experience that they've ever had. Then we know we did it right. And so we want to be different. We don't beat our customers to death. We don't pressure them. We don't
Chase after their moving vehicle?
No, I'm not that fast anymore, Veronica. I can't catch them. I've got to convince them to just stay in one place because I can't catch them. So we want them to stay because they're having a great experience. We want them to stay voluntarily, not because we're not trying to trick anybody. We're not trying to mislead anybody. That's the beauty of Lexus. We don't have to. We make great cars. They're priced fairly, and people see the value, and they see the experience that they get and the treatment that they get at our store, and that's the thing I'm proudest of. It's just
those would be the two things that would be important to me. It's the quality of the vehicle, and we know that is, without saying. And then how are you treated when you come into the dealership? Now, I pulled on the lot a while back, months ago. I like to shop after hours kind of thing, and it was right before closing. And the gentleman who came out was as nice as can be. And I said, no, I just wanted to look. And he said, fine. And he didn't follow me everywhere I went.
He didn't stalk you?
No, he gave me his card and said, if you've got any questions, just, let me know. It was great. I've actually been dropped off at one end of the dealership, and my husband pulls in on the other end, so I can look at what I want to look at and then time it out where I can jump in. So because they're you pull on the lot and there's salespeople.
Yes.
Just lined up outside, and you're like, not now. Don't look now.
Right.
And not ready. You have to be ready, I guess, to talk to the salesperson, unless you're treated differently.
I think so. And the funny thing is, and the hardest thing I think to teach salespeople is everybody does it differently. Now we have guests that come in and want to be descended on immediately, and want to kind of run through the process as quickly as possible and say, and I want that car, and I want to, and we have guests that want to do that. And then we have others that take months to look at cars and drive and research, and so we have to be prepared for both and recognize both. So we ask a lot of questions. We actually have a guest sheet when a guest comes in, so we can ask them what they would like to accomplish today. And if all they want to do today is look at an RX, sit in it, and see if they fit in it okay and they like it, then that's great. Then that's what we're going to do. If they're here to get their car appraised and see what lease specials we have, then that's what we'll do. So it's really the guest drives the process in our store, which is much different than most other places. So most other places, they want the guest to conform to their process. We teach our people we conform to the guest's process. So that's a big difference. It doesn't
I like
sound
it.
like
I know what I want. I know what I want to pay, and I only want to spend an hour and a half.
Great.
I mean, sometimes you go in and you're there all day. Now, maybe that is a experience, and maybe some folks like to do that, but
Some do. Some people want to drive 5 different models, and and that's going to take some time. And we're okay with that too.
And what was the price on the first one, and what was the options on the second one, and you were keeping track of all that for me, right?
No. They have their folder and their clipboard. They're keeping track. They're great, but they're again, it's up to the guest. And if that's what the guest wants to do, then we're just here to assist them and make this again the best car buying experience they have ever had.
And then the options you have are like, as far as for paying, you have many different lease options.
We do. We've got leases. We've got APR, as low as 0.9%.
That's unbelievable.
Believe it or not, we still take cash. You can still pay cash. So we're good. So we're very flexible in every aspect of the purchase. Again, what does the guest want to do? Do they want to title it in their company name? Do they want it in both both people's names? Do they want it in one name? Do they however they want to do that, for whatever reason, we're just here to assist in that process. We're more the co-pilot, versus the pilot, which in a lot of dealers, they want to be the pilot. The guest is the pilot with us.
And nowadays, it's so nice for the consumers. I mean, me being a consumer too, I do everything online. I shop online. I price. I do all my research before I go buy something. And I think it's fantastic that our customers do that as well. That they go online, they look at some of the cars, look what's out there. They want to get the best value for their dollar. And I want to help them do that. We want to help them do that. So when they come into the dealership, the one thing we educate ourselves and our associates about is that our customers are educated. They know what they're doing. We need to treat them accordingly because they have the information. And we need to be educated, take them through all the product, tell them about the L-certified warranties and the new car warranties and all the perks that it get at Treasure Coast Lexus. And it's just such a nice process than it was years ago. And when you come into Treasure Coast Lexus, you talk about lease options and finance options and one-pay options and cash options. We have a menu that we simply put all the information on there for the consumer. So it's 100% full disclosure. It's transparent. It's just easy for a customer, so they're not saying, hey, well, what is this? What is that? Here's all your information. Because that's the only way we can make a decision. And
speaking of going online for information, can you go online and look at the cars that are available right now at the dealership?
Absolutely.
What's your website?
What's the website? TreasureCoastLexus.com.
Great.
Yeah. And there's like 30 plus pictures of each car. You really can go through them. It lets you know. It has the Carfax on there. You can see where it was serviced. It shows you everything.
So the new and the used are okay.
New and used. Everything's on there.
Great.
So, and you could just call up and set up an appointment and come on down, test drive them. We could give you a tour. We have the most beautiful facility if you haven't been in there. I don't think I could ever work anyplace else. Oh my gosh, it's so huge.
But which we love people coming to our facility, but a lot of our guests are busy. You know,
True.
they own their own businesses. They're professionals. They're working just as much as we are. So if you see a car online and say, I really like that car, but gosh, you know, my schedule the next couple weeks is just slammed, we'll bring the car to you.
Absolutely.
I can see how you could get jammed up if you've got a lease too, because that date is coming when you have to do something, keep it, trade it, and you're busy. Life happens, and there's things to do.
It does.
But my lease is going to come to an end. Uh-oh. So
and everybody likes to procrastinate, so
Yeah,
you know they
yeah.
get to the 12th hour. But you know we'll come to you. So we do it all the time. We love to bring a car out and show it to you and see what you think.
do lease turn in stay here as well, just like a regular car that you would trade in? If you have a leased Lexus and you bring it to the dealership, it's time for a new one. Will that car also stay in the community?
Well, I'm glad you asked about that, because what we do at the dealership is, like I was saying, when we first started the show, we have a lot of the cars that are purchased at the dealership and or leased at the dealership and brought back to the dealership and serviced. Well, we generally buy those cars and offer them back out to the public
As an
L
L certified.
certified, as an L certified car. So
Okay.
yeah,
Lexus really does a good job that way, because if the car was originally leased at our store and gets turned in at our store, we have the right to purchase that car first.
Okay.
So the only time we wouldn't do it, again, is if
If you can't L certify it.
yeah, bad Carfax, just really not taken care of. I mean, we want the cream of the crop. We want the best of the best to offer to our guests.
So bad Carfax is, I got into an accident with it. I took it to the guy in the corner. He patched it back up, and I didn't tell anybody. But, well, you guys I didn't tell you guys. So, and I'm coming to trade it in. That's going to be information that you can
oh yes,
obtain to know that you're not certifying a car that was in an accident.
correct.
Correct.
Now, none of the L certified cars have been in any type of accident. Is that correct?
Some of them will have a blemish on the Carfax.
Okay.
But it's very clear. You know, sometimes we have an incident where somebody backed into somebody in a parking lot. You know, and it was the bumper had to be painted.
Little minor thing. Okay.
And that is indicated on the Carfax as well. It'll say very minor damage, and that's cosmetic exclusively. And we can still certify the car as long as everything else mechanically checks out, and we will disclose that to the person who's looking at that vehicle. So
Right.
it's always full disclosure, and if it passes the certified inspection, then we'll move forward. If it was more than that,
Like the airbag deployed.
then we
no.
can't touch it.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, if any type of structural damage, any type of anything more than cosmetic,
Right.
cosmetic we can deal with. But again, we'll disclose that to the potential purchaser, so that they can make a fully informed decision.
Well, that's reasonable. A little something that's been repaired, and you can't see it. It didn't harm the
Yes.
performance of the vehicle. So
No, and it happens more than you think.
Sure.
Gosh, if you've been
in
to
the parking lot.
if you've been to any of our grocery stores or malls or it
At
happens more than you at work. It happens more than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a garbage truck hit a truck in the parking lot at work one time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, garbage truck.
That might have been a little more than minor damage.
I didn't even get to see the vehicle. We took delivery one afternoon, and my husband went off with it, and I went up back to work, and it was dark when I came home. He went off in the morning, and it got clobbered.
Oh, so it was your car.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see it, brand new,
Aw.
and it had to go to the body shop.
Oh man.
See, these things happen,
They do.
and they
Yeah.
sure do.
They do. But the key with us is, again, complete transparency, full disclosure. We never hide anything from a guest. If something happened, we tell them exactly what happened, and here's what we did, and show it to them.
Now, what if I'm driving a Lexus that I purchased in Missouri, and I moved here, and I need service?
Come on in.
No problem.
No problem. Yeah.
Love to have you.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yes, and we'll show you, probably a better experience than than you've had elsewhere.
Well, we have sunshine, so Missouri would be a lousy place to be coming from anyway, wouldn't it? Especially this time of year.
Well, that's a big advantage we have. Because most people who move here moved from somewhere
Cold.
without a lot of sunshine.
Yeah.
So it's a big advantage.
Yeah. And a beautiful dealership.
Wonderful. And great amenities. And, you know, I don't know, we have 5 TVs and a business center where you can get some work done, you know, make conference calls. We have a theater room where, you know, you can quietly watch a movie if you'd like. Food, snacks. We have a state-of-the-art coffee machine that makes
Cappuccino.
lattes, cappuccinos, hot chocolate. I mean, it's a. We have to put you through a training class to show you how to use it, but once we do that, you're good.
So I can just pull in, park, come in for some coffee, and
Anytime.
see ya.
We do it all. People
And we
do
have
it all the
guests all the
time.
time do that, right?
They just come in and say hi.
Get a cup of coffee and they sit down and they chit chat, tell us about their lives. And that's the neatest thing about Lexus is we are building relationships with these folks. You know, they come in, we know everything, and it's nice. You know, take care of my daughter. Here's my mom. You know, it's like a big compliment. It's like a good. It's wonderful, right? I mean, we have people
Absolutely.
driving from Orlando that just to deal with, you know, Gary or one of the associates just because they have a relationship. They moved and
Yeah.
they're still driving from Tampa to Fort Pierce to get their cars. It happens so often. It's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Flattering, very flattering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we want customers for life. You know, that's our mission. We tell them all the time, especially people new to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll say, "Guys, this was a great buying experience." And you know, again, we want to hear the best they've ever had. And you know, we let them know that we're just getting started. You know, once we have you, we don't
It's
let
not
go.
going back.
We don't let go. We're going to spoil you.
So if you're new to the brand, the best way right now would be to come in and check out those L-certified used vehicles that you have, all those great trade-ins from December to remember, and get hooked on the brand.
Yeah, I'd love to give anybody a tour. You come to the dealership, ask for me, Tina Klein. I'm the pre-owned director, and I'll personally give you a tour of the whole dealership, show you all the L-certified cars. I'll go over the program once again, and I was just looking at some of the cars I have in stock. It's some of the rates on the winter sales event that they're offering. I mean, you have payments in the 4s, you know, with, 10% down on a unlimited mile warranty.
And that's a luxury vehicle.
And a luxury vehicle. I mean,
That's not a
that's
lease.
a great payment
That's a purchase.
on a luxury vehicle.
Right,
Yeah.
that's not a lease.
I mean, and a better warranty than you can get on most new cars that are on the market today, which is amazing. And like Gary said, I don't think enough people know about the L Certified program because it's an amazing deal. I can't believe it. Every time I tell somebody, they go, "Wow, I don't get tired of saying it," because they get so excited. So and they're happy. They're getting a good value for their dollar, and that's, as a retailer, that's what you want people to, you want them to feel that way. So.
Well, one of the first things that happens when you get a new car is you're watching that speedometer to see if your time is running out or if your miles are running out.
Very
You
true.
know, and it's great to not have to take the car back ever, but sometimes you do. But
Well-
that warranty runs out really quickly.
Lexus thought through this really well because people buying pre-owned cars, the two top things for them is mileage and condition. That's what customers are really concerned about. I mean, there's other things on the checklist, but it's miles and condition. So what does Lexus do? They put an unlimited mile warranty on a car. Like drive as much as you want.
Right.
We'll cover every component in the car except wear and tear. Right? And the condition, we're going to do a 161-point check on the car and take care of everything. So those are off the table.
And your maintenance, too.
And your maintenance for 2 years. So,
Yeah, it does
Pretty
sound
strong.
unbelievable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why people, the number one question is that true?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Do you have that in writing? You know how many people say, "Can I have the booklet?" I hand that out
Yes, we
so
do.
often.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, we do.
Okay.
Tina talked about coming in and a tour of the dealership, and it just, popped into my head. We love to show people our service department. And we take them in the shop, and that just amazes them. We're there every day. We see it every day. So I think it kind of becomes, not as impressive to us as it was maybe the first time we saw it.
Yeah, it's sort of like an operating room for cars.
It really is.
It's so bright, so clean, so the technology too. You're not. There's no greasy lift and.
No, you don't see any rolls of duct tape and and wire hangers. It's an amazing operation, and when you see that, people all have the same reaction. Now we've been at that store for over 9 years, and the shop looks like it opened up yesterday.
Oh, the whole dealership
beautiful.
is just beautiful.
But that's where we do oil changes and work.
Cars are dirty.
Yeah. So for it to look the way it does, it just tells you, and it tells our guests, the attention to detail that goes into everything that we do. And that's the Lexus way as well. It's how they build cars. We talked about CAT scanning engines. Who does that? The
You guys even do car washes.
Free car washes, yes.
So, I mean, you got the clean thing cornered, right?
I think so. And our guests take really good care of their cars. This is why we love taking them back in our trade. They are all pretty meticulous.
Oh yeah.
So, but when we show them the shop and we give them the tour, it really confirms all the things that they may have heard about Lexus or thought about it, because if we keep the shop that clean, what does that say about? I mean, that's where your car was worked on. That's where the 161-point inspection was done. This is where we, put new tires on it and did the brakes and put a new battery in it, and so it comes full circle, I think, and that visual for a lot of people is very impressive.
And I guess if you want to stand around and watch your car get worked on, you can too, because it's all glass and you can see right.
There's a window right out into the shop. You can watch it as we do it.
The mechanic's probably going, watching me work.
Some of them like the attention.
Yeah, then it's interesting too. It would be interesting to watch them work on cars.
Yes. Another neat point about the L Certified, if I could bring up, is on new cars, they have new car delivery experts who go through it with our guests and show them all the technology.
The Lexperts?
The Lexperts.
I like that.
Now, these Lexperts on our L Certified cars, they go through, you buy a 2015, a 2013, because you can buy a 2013 and 14 all the way to 18 L Certified. They'll go through all the technology in the car, so you're not leaving going, what do I have?
Right. Well, it would be new to that new buyer.
Right, which is great.
Yeah,
indeed.
all that technology.
And
Boy,
a lot of our
experts got to know a lot of cars.
Yes.
And every model year is probably a little different.
It is.
That's a lot of knowledge.
They're amazing. But the thing too is, with the Lexperts, they are not only very knowledgeable but incredibly patient.
Oh yes.
Because a lot of our guests aren't technologically savvy. They're like me. And so, that first run through, they may get 20% of it, 30% of it.
Kind of glaze over.
After a while, it's like, wow. So we invite them back in for as many times as they want or need to, and we'll go through it with them 2, 3, 4, 5 times if we have to. And that they appreciate that as much as anything. So it's not oh no, you have your one shot with a technology expert. You better take a lot of notes because this is it. It's we'll go through it with you 10 times if we have to, until you got it, you're comfortable with it. Because the bottom line is that if people understand the technology, if they're comfortable using it, then they'll use it. And they'll see real value in what they purchased. If they're not comfortable, then you find that they don't use it. And so there's no value. If you're not using the technology, then why did I pay for it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's often times where the car does things that you don't even know it does.
Many cases.
So, yeah, being able to come... And you won't necessarily use that technology that day that you're learning about it. You may take a trip, or it may be, a few months before you have a need to use that technology. And you're like, how does it work again?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting, through our careers, we've had people trade in cars, and they want particular options on their new cars, but they had the option on the car they're trading in, but never knew it. And it's all to that delivery process and what those Lexperts are doing. And it's just, the experience, the culture of, what you want to give to that guest as they come in. I mean, I think it's sad if somebody comes in and they didn't know they had the option.
Right.
The
whole time, yeah.
The whole time. And it happens so often.
For us, that's the final step in the purchasing process.
Okay.
And what a great send-off. That's how we finish up our transaction. And to have that be the last thing, guests just rave about it.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely love it. It's the perfect, send-off. It really is. Because, right before that they did their paperwork, and, that can be,
That's not
we've
the
got to
fun
read.
part.
That's not the fun
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Driving the car, picking out a car, that's the fun part.
Right.
Then we do the paperwork. And so the last thing we do once all the paperwork's done is we put them with the technology and delivery specialists, and they go through everything in the car, and they learn about their car, and they're all excited again, because there are things there like, oh my, we can explain it, but when you sit in the car and you actually do it, and you see, oh, that's how that works. Oh my goodness, so that is a wonderful send-off, and a great
syncing
last
my
step.
car up with my garage door, I'm already impressed.
Yes,
And you guys do that.
we do. We do, and if you forgot something, you're at home, you can call in. These folks will walk you through it on the phone. They'll FaceTime with you and walk you through it. And if you need to come back in and spend another hour with them, they'll do that too. So it's
Have a cappuccino, get a car wash.
and learn about your car.
There you go.
Right? It doesn't get better than that.
It sounds like a date, right?
I think so.
We've got a couple more minutes in the show. Let us know where the dealership is located. And, of course, you're associated with the Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart.
We are. Mm-hmm. That's our sister store.
Yes.
The Toyota, of course, being our parent company. Mm-hmm. So we're all one big family. We're cousins, I like to say. And the Lexus store is located at 5121 U.S. Highway 1. We're just south of Midway Road. So we're basically at the intersection of US 1 and Midway. The Toyota store is 17 miles south of us on US 1
Look
in
for
Stewart.
the giant American flag.
The giant, you cannot miss it. The giant flag, if you're heading south on US 1, it's on the left side of the road. And great specials and great products going on there. Our Toyota store is the fastest growing Toyota store in the country.
Wow.
That's
They can be proud, too.
They are.
And
They
it's
should
amazing.
be.
Right here on little old Treasure Coast.
Little old Treasure Coast, Florida. Isn't that amazing?
So definitely, if you're in the market for a brand new car or even a used car, step up and come see the L-certified Lexus available now at Treasure Coast Lexus.
Please do.
Yes.
We have great specials on new cars, too, if you really want a new one. Don't
Well,
forget those.
once you're there, you can kind of compare, right?
You can.
Absolutely.
You're listening to the Treasure Coast Car Guys every Tuesday, beginning at 11:05 on WPSL and WSTU. Back next week, you're listening to WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by